What's going on, guys? It's Clutch Plays here, and today we're going to be doing a complete in-depth analysis of the New York Knicks. This year's roster is so much better than last year's roster, and it's not even close. The Knicks literally have a better starter at every single position, and a better overall bench. This past year's roster was the worst team in the NBA, so the Knicks can't really get any worse. In this video, I'm going to be going over each player on the Knicks roster by position, starting with who will most likely be the starter, and then continuing on with the next best player at the position. So with that said, let's get right into it. Point guard, Dennis Smith Jr. Dennis Smith Jr. will most likely be the starting point guard come opening day, but reportedly, Alfred Payton will have every opportunity to win the Knicks starting job. The reason DSJ will probably win the job is because this entire offseason he has focused on improving his shot. He has changed his shooting form, been working with trainers basically every day, and getting insane amounts of repetition. The Knicks will be starting Julius Randle, who shot a mediocre 34.4% from three-point range, along with Mitchell Robinson, who doesn't shoot threes. On top of this, as we have seen a bit too much in the Summer League, RJ Barrett cannot shoot three-point shots. DSJ averaged 14.7 points, 5.4 assists, and 2.8 rebounds in 28.6 minutes per game last season, and his major downside last season was his three-point shot, which was at 28%, so if he can shoot in the 35 to 37% range next season, his fit on the team will be perfect. Next, Alfred Payton. Alfred Payton was drafted by the Magic 10th overall in the 2014 NBA draft, and since then has been bounced around from the Magic to the Suns to the Pelicans and finally the Knicks in only 6 NBA seasons. Alfred Payton has started every game for his team since halfway through the 2016-2017 season, so coming off the bench will be a bit different for him. Last season on the Pelicans, he had one of the most underrated seasons ever. He averaged 10.6 points, 7.6 assists, and 5.2 rebounds in about 30 minutes per game. But to put these stats into perspective, Lonzo Ball averaged 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in about 30 minutes per game. Payton's stats say one thing, but the way he affected the Pelicans team last year when he returned from injury is a whole nother story. In January, when Anthony Davis was still playing significant minutes with the Pelicans went 9-2 when Alfred Payton played and 8-1 when he played 20 minutes or more. On top of this, here are a few stats showing his importance to the team when he plays. His defense may be the best part about his game, and I haven't even touched upon that part yet. His size, strength, and athleticism allow him to switch onto any guard or forward, and he's one of the leaders on the defensive side of the ball who is always communicating to his teammates and giving them help when needed. The downside about his game is his shooting percentages, where he shot only 31% from 3 last season, so he needs to improve his three-point shot and overall jump shot too. Don't be surprised if Alfred Payton takes the starting point guard spot away from Dennis Smith Jr. though. It's going to be a tight race. Frank Ntilikina. I was contemplating putting him at shooting guard, but looking at how many shooting guards the Knicks have on their roster, he will most likely play point guard more when he gets minutes. Frank has been disappointing since entering the league and has never found the confidence in his shot. Defenses can read him very well because he is rarely ever going to shoot the ball and is always looking to pass. The thing about him is his shot looks pretty good, but every time he shoots it, it seems like he would rather pass instead. He shot only 33% from the field and 28% from 3 last season, so he needs to find confidence in his overall offensive game. His defense is incredible and will always be top level, and he's still only 21 years old, so don't give up on him just yet. Khadeem Allen. Khadeem Allen was recently on a 2-way contract, and when he was pulled up to the Knicks roster last season, he performed pretty well. He scored 10 points and 4 assists in only 21 minutes. However, the Knicks have so many players at the guard position, so at the moment, I would not expect to see Khadeem in the rotation to start the season. Now on to shooting guards. RJ Barrett. Coming into this next season, RJ Barrett will be starting and most likely at shooting guard. RJ's stats at Duke were 22.7 rebounds and 4 assists across 35 minutes per game, and these stats are incredible, but going to the NBA will hopefully benefit RJ even more because he will excel with more floor spacing. At Duke, it was really condensed. Cam Reddish would really never be able to have a consistent three-point shot. Zion couldn't shoot. they really didn't have any shooters around him, so it was really condensed in the paint. RJ was still able to have these stats while playing with players who really didn't benefit his game too much. RJ is a playmaker rather than a shooter, so for him to be at his best, he needs shooters to surround him. In Summer League, RJ had a pretty rough beginning, and this continued until the final few games where he was able to put together a few good performances. The main issue with this game currently is his shooting percentage, where he only shot 34% at the Summer League. Not from 3, just overall. Who knows if this will convert to the NBA because Summer League is so much different, but if I were to take a guess, I would say it would not. RJ hopefully will be a ride or die for the next 10 years or so it's going to be cool to see how it will develop in the first few years. Alonzo Trier. Alonzo Trier had one of the best rookie seasons ever by an undrafted player, and he is not stopping there. Alonzo Trier played 1 game in the Summer League before getting sick, and he had 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists in only 32 minutes. Yes, I know it's just the Summer League, but it's only a positive if he's playing this amazing in Las Vegas. This season, Trier should be fighting minutes with Dawson, Ellington, and Bullock, but he should be one of the first Knicks coming off the bench next season. Trier shot about 40% from 3 and 45% from the field last season, while averaging 11 points and 2 assists in 23 minutes per game. Look for Trier maybe not to increase his numbers next season, rather have similar numbers and fewer minutes per game. Damien Dawson. Damien Dawson is the Knicks' most underrated young player and maybe even the Knicks' most consistent young player. You know what you're getting with Dawson, which is a high-volume three-point shooter, a great mid-range shooter, and a solid defender. Last season, he averaged 10.7 points and 3.6 rebounds in 27.5 minutes per game, and these stats look pretty bad, but Dawson is more of a safe player because you know what you're getting with him. His role in the Knicks will decrease heavily with the additions of Wayne Ellington and Reggie Bullock, but hopefully the Knicks can find a way to get him playing at least 15 to 20 minutes per game. Wayne Ellington. First, if you watched my last video on Carmelo Anthony, last season he had better stats than Wayne Ellington. Last year, Wayne had 10 points and 2 rebounds in 25 minutes of play, while shooting 37% from 3 and 40% from the field. I understand the Knicks having a veteran shooting guard for all the young guards that they have, but hopefully it won't take away minutes from Dawson, Trier, and Frank. Small forward, Marcus Morris. As much as it hurts me saying this, Marcus Morris has a slight edge over Kevin Knox at the small forward position right now. Marcus Morris is coming off of a season with the Celtics where he averaged 14 points and 6 rebounds in 20 minutes on an insanely deep roster. On top of this, he shoots 38% from 3, which was a bit higher than what Kevin Knox shot from 3-point range last year. Marcus Morris is a team leader on the floor, which is great for a young Knicks squad, and he's a top-level defender. The Knicks were pretty terrible on defense last year, so adding a defensive leader to the team who will elevate everyone's game on the defensive side of the ball will be great. Look for Morris to start the first half of the season or so, but after that point, Kevin Knox will have a great chance of taking the starting small forward position away from him. Kevin Knox. My man Kevin Knox has been grinding all summer after being overlooked by the Pelicans, Team USA Select Team, and the all-rookie team voters. After the season ended, the coaches told the players to take a 2-week break or so, but instead, after a few days, Kevin Knox texted David Fizdale and they started working on his game immediately. This man has a motor like no other, and at only 20 years old, he will become a very special player. Last season, he averaged 13 points and 4 rebounds in 28 minutes per game, but the downside of his game was his shooting percentages, which he shot 34% from 3 and 37% from the field. These numbers will only improve with more maturity on shot selection and just more in-game repetition. His shot is too good and too fluid for his percentages to be this low, so don't be surprised if he's shooting upwards towards 40% from 3-point range next season. Kevin Knox had a decent summer league, scoring 17 points per game and shooting 40%, but watching him seemed like he was more chucking up shots with the main goal of getting more in-game shots and repetition. Next season, hopefully Kevin Knox can be playing about 30 minutes per game by the end at least, but to start, make sure he can get in the game for a bare minimum 20 minutes per game. Reggie Bullock. Reggie Bullock is one of those players who I don't think the Knicks needed too much, but he does come in right away as their best 3-point shooter. Reggie Bullock had a bit of an off season last year, shooting the 3-ball at 37%, but he hits a career average of 40%. Bullock is a proven player in this league who can help some of the young players while adding a spark off the bench. Bullock as well as Kevin Knox will be great fits next to RJ Barrett because they both tend to be spot-up shooters who RJ can get open shots for. Reggie Bullock won't see too many minutes next season, but he is one player to keep an eye on for a possible player to be traded next season because he has value and only has $1 million of his $10.5 million contract guaranteed for 2020, so the contract is easily disposable. Ignas Brazdeikis. I don't know if I said that right, but from seeing what this man was able to do in the Summer League, he has some serious potential to be great in this league. He only scored 15.4 points per game in 26 minutes, but he shot the ball at 51% and had an extremely smooth offensive game. At times he tended to be a bit passive, but after the game against the Suns where he scored 30 points with ease, he was a whole different player. He became much more aggressive and was posting up smaller defenders, creating his own shot, and driving to the basket, resulting in him getting fouled. This season it's hard to find where he will be getting minutes, so expect him to be in the G League for a bit to get repetition. Power forward, Julius Randle. Julius Randle will start at the power forward position for the Knicks next year, and this past season he had a breakout year and averaged 21.4 points and 9 rebounds per game in only 30 minutes. He was tied to be 36 in PER as well. Julius Randle punishes people in the post using his strength and rebounding abilities. While he shoots the 3-ball at 34.4%, this percentage is pretty average, but he can space the floor for the Knicks who need it. The only downside about his game is his defense, since he has a small wingspan and is undersized at 6'9". This won't be a major issue because the Knicks have Mitchell Robinson who can guard the paint, so the fit here is pretty nice. Julius Randle will play significant minutes next year, and in a weak Eastern Conference, he has a serious shot at being an all-star next season. We haven't had one of those since the Snake. Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis tends to have a bad rap because of the whole punching situation, but he has been a pretty good basketball player ever since. Portis could either play center or power forward, but his play style is more of a power forward. Portis is still relatively young at 24 years old and averaged 14 points and 8 rebounds per game last season. He had some pretty incredible stat lines too, such as back-to-back 30-point games after being traded to the Wizards, and 28 points and 13 rebounds and 4 steals against the Jazz. Portis has all the tools to develop into a great defender, but needs to be more consistent in order to do so. He still has tons of room to grow, and the Knicks are a great spot to improve your game. It's hard to estimate how many minutes Portis will get next season, but he is going to be one of those streaky players for the Knicks who will be amazing at times and not so good at times as well. Center. Mitchell Robinson. This is no question. Mitchell Robinson is coming off of a season where he came into the NBA without playing in college or even any type of organized basketball. It showed at the beginning of the season, but as he got his conditioning up and as he got more accustomed to the NBA, he began to do some pretty crazy things. He was second in blocks per game, yet only playing 20 minutes per game, and he had the 25th best PER, which is better than Kemba Walker. On top of this, he was selected to the Team USA Select team, but had to withdraw due to a knee injury or something like that. He made the All-Rookie second team too, yet only playing decent minutes in the second half of the season. Mitchell Robinson deserves to play at least 30 minutes per game next season, or at least as many minutes until he fouls out, because he needs and deserves these minutes more than his competition, Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson. He is a great veteran presence who will be able to teach Mitchell Robinson how to take care of his body and just be an overall mentor to this guy who has really never had a mentor or anything like this before coming into the NBA. I hope and don't think he will play more than 15 to 20 minutes per game to start the season, and as the season progresses, he probably shouldn't be playing at all. Now that I have finally completed this, tell me what you guys thought down below about this analyzation of the Knicks. Also tell me if you want me to analyze another team or if you want to see any other videos. I appreciate all of you guys for watching, and with that said, I'm out and peace!